Hello Year 10 and hello Year 12. I hope this finds you well. Hope you've had a fantastic half term and that you've all managed to get away from your screens in some way, shape or form. So I'm here today to introduce work experience to you. Now you've all probably figured out that with COVID in play, we're not going to be able to do work experience as we've done in previous years. For example, that you're able to go into an employer and experience and a working environment in the flesh, so to speak. But despite COVID, we think work experience is so important, we're still going to do it. We're going to do it as a virtual work experience though this year. So that's our plans basically. So you're probably thinking in terms of work experience, what it's going to actually do for you. You might be nervous about it. I know that lots of people, when it comes to kind of talking to strangers or perhaps interacting with people they don't know so well, it's a little bit of anxiety that comes up around it. So I understand that, and it's entirely nervous. But I want to ask you a question to start off with. So firstly, for yourself, in terms of purchasing a phone, would you buy a phone without actually doing some research on it to start off with? How would you check it? Would you look for reviews online? Would you talk to your friends? Would you try and get your hands on it? Would you buy a phone at all without actually kind of having done your research on it first to start off with? I guess the same question also applies as well in terms of going out for a meal. So look at this guy here. He looks the business, doesn't he? He's got a proper chef's hat on everything. But would you eat with a chef who's never cooked before? He might look the part, but do you trust him to cook a good meal? Would you be happy to pay for it in that situation? And I guess next for you Year 12s, you're looking at university in 2 years' time, year and a half's time realistically now. Would you sign up for a university 3 years without having checked out the course, without having understood anything about it, done your research or kind of thought about it whatsoever? So the reason why I'm kind of asking you to think about all of these is primarily because how can we expect an employer to actually take you on if you've not got any experience yourself as well? If you don't know what you're doing, why is an employer going to trust you? Why would they want to take you on if you've never done it before? Sure, you might be able to kind of look the part and talk the talk, but can you actually walk the walk? Have you got the experience? And that's where work experience actually comes in. So employers value work experience for a huge number of reasons, okay? So they want to employ the best person they can do for the money they're spending out, for the wages that they're paying for. And just like you want the best phone for your money, the best meal for your money and the best education, you want somebody who knows what they're doing, enjoys what they're doing, is going to stick at it. And that's the same for an employer too. So work experience is a great way at a young age of trying things out to see whether you like it, to understand what it's all about, and to invest your time in terms of working out whether it's whether you want to go in that particular direction. So what do I mean by that? It means that even if you try something during your work experience that you don't like, actually what you've done is you've really helped yourself by narrowing down not to follow that particular career path. So employers really want kind of people coming to them with experience and demonstrating that they can walk the walk as well as talk the talk. So, in terms of what work experience can do for you, firstly, you can gain practical skills. Now, although you're not going to physically get experience of a working environment, you can get a better understanding of what the working environment would be like for a career path or for an industry. You can understand how, relevant what you're studying at the moment here at Sarum is to, what you're thinking about doing as a career. How does studying X tie into, Y as a career, for example? I think work experience is also going to kind of develop a lot of other skills for you too as well. Your personal social skills, maybe not in terms of direct, but certainly from those electronic interpersonal skills, which are really, really important. And communicating with people at different levels, whether that's via Zoom, FaceTime or email, that's just as valid as actually kind of those communication skills in the flesh, shall we say. So it's also going to increase your knowledge, as we talked about, of an industry, what it's like to work within that particular career path. And it's going to look great on your CV for colleges, for employers, for university, or for an apprenticeship as well. Work experience makes you stand out from the crowd. And also, as I mentioned, it really does help to determine areas that you're specifically interested in, both getting rid of areas that you're not interested in and helping to kind of confirm things that you really are enjoying. So We've looked at work experience, we've identified why it's so important. So what can you do to prepare? So for me, there's a couple of things you can do to prepare. Firstly, think about what you're thinking of doing either after sixth form or year 11. And that could be a number of things. You could be thinking about a career path that you're looking at. It can also be, what you enjoy doing and what subjects you enjoy studying too as well. All of these will give you a kind of clues as to the sorts of careers and the sorts of jobs that you might enjoy doing later on in life. So how is it going to work, this virtual work experience? So as I mentioned, it's virtual this year. There's no risk to yourselves. We're going to encourage you to do it online. And what's going to happen is that within year 10, within your PSHE lessons, you're going to be doing your research. You're going to be looking for virtual work experience placements. And within year 12, you're going to be doing it as part of your tutor time that you've got. Okay. Having a look for work experience placements is going to be really straightforward. We've put them all on our website for you, so you can go and find your own, but there's also a huge list that are out there on the Sarum website. So if you want to get ahead and have a look at the sorts of things that are available, go out please and have a look at our website at that web address that's on the screen now. What will happen next is that once you've found somewhere and found an experience that you want to take part in, you check in with your tutor, check in with your PSHE teacher, make sure that they're happy. At that stage there, they'll kind of mail in and go, great. And then you can go ahead and you can basically do it. So you'll email into wex@sarumacademy.org with details of what you'll be doing, all right? And we'll just kind of log it and make sure that everything's done and dusted there. Obviously, once the placement has gone through, you'd either get a certificate if it's one of the kind of online experiences that have been put on by a number of companies where they've got a kind of completion certificate, or if you're actually working directly with someone, we'd ask them to mail in and just say, yes, they've done it. And in terms of the time frame that we're looking at anywhere between 1 day and 5 days, okay? And in terms of when we're going to do it, if it's a small work experience placement, so like 1 day, so 7 to 9 hours basically, we will actually allow you to take a day off school to kind of do it, or you can obviously do it on your weekends and holidays as well. If it's longer than that, and there's some really big experience placements out there, obviously the bigger the work experience placement, the more experience you get, the more attractive you're going to be to employers and to universities and colleges, etc. They can be up to 5 days. And we've put aside time at the beginning of the 5th of July, the whole week lessons have been suspended, so you can basically undertake it then. Obviously you can do it before then if you want to, if you can kind of do a bit at a time, you can kind of do it holidays, weekends, evenings. It's entirely up to you basically. So that's it basically in a nutshell in terms of what's going to happen with work experience. You're going to kick off this term and undertake that research within your PSHE lessons or within your tutor times, okay? You get some support there from your tutors and from your PSHE teachers as well. I hope that you're excited as I am about kind of doing this, because for me it really is a chance to do something slightly different, try and get a flavour of what your life could be like in the future, and maybe try and get yourself some things that are going to kind of help that future, but also give you a guide as to how you need to get there as well. If there's any questions, give your tutor a shout, give your PSHE teacher a shout, or give me a shout as well. Thanks so much.